I finally decided what to do on the surface of this farmhouse table that we built. I was thinking about putting a matte finish or using a wax, but I'm going to use hemp oil. This is Howdy Hemp Oil by Dixie Belle, and it makes a good water resistant surface. You can recoat after a couple of hours, and 2 to 3 coats is good. But it helps to deepen the finish a little bit, but it also gives, this is like non-toxic, this is food grade hemp oil. This is the same stuff here in our store that we sell, not this particular one, but hemp seed oil is what a lot of men especially use for joint pain. So this is an edible type of product, so it is safe for a table. So if you were, and all I'm doing is I poured some on, it feels kind of thick, like a thin motor oil or a thick olive oil or something like that. And we're applying it, you can see there, poured on, and then using a brush to go in. This is wood that has, this is pine. It's been sanded pretty dang smooth. My husband sanded it. We built this farmhouse table, or he built, and I painted the legs, and then we stained the top with the Dixie Belle No Pain gel stain, which is an oil-based stain, which made me think, hey, why don't I use the hemp oil? Trying to pull any excess off of there and onto this surface. So I think with this oil-based stain, you can do this on raw wood, you can do this on painted wood, we could do this on something painted with a chalky mineral paint or a milk paint or something like that, or you can just do it if you have an old thirsty piece. You can put it on there. What I'm going to do is do this whole table, and I guess I'll speed through that here in a minute. I'm going to do this whole table, and then I'm going to come back with this rag and buff it off. So let me get busy. Try to get this whole half in my first pour here. So just know it will, if you're using it over a chalky style paint, it's going to bring that paint back to life and give it, you know, a good finish on top of it. If you're doing it on top of really thirsty old wood that's, you know, not been anything done to it in a while, it will possibly sink in there pretty fast. And then you can still recoat after about 2 hours. After about 12 hours, we're going to come in with the rag and wipe everything off again to make sure there's no excess just that came back up through the surface. And then after 24 hours, I believe, we'll be able to use it. And then after about a month, as with, you know, all of the natural products like that, after about a month, it's going to be completely cured. If this was my dining table, I would redo the hemp oil as my method of, you know, polishing and freshening up about every 6 months. And that will maintain the water resistant finish. And keep it looking wonderful. Okay, it's completely wet and covered with the hemp oil now. And my husband just came through and said, I thought you didn't want it shiny. He wanted to put a, oh, I can't think of it, very shiny coat on here, but it won't be shiny when it's done. It'll be more matte, and it's not going to leave any type of finish on top that's going to chip off later or anything like that. This is going to go down into the thirsty wood. Getting a little, a little right here where it's drying a little faster. And so I will let this sit for a little while, and then I'm going to come back, and you can see pictures that are on the wall there shining or glowing back out of that. But there it is at the wet point. Okay, the Howdy Hemp Oil by Dixie Belle's been on here for a little while. And you can see it seems like there's so much on there, and I've used about a third of a bottle, if that, not quite a third of a bottle, and just used a plain chip brush. Now I'm using an old washcloth, and I'm just going to wipe the excess off. I'm not like buffing it at anything at this point, but that is an option later on. As we put the coats tomorrow, when I come into work, I will wipe over this again because it will have been over 12 hours. I will wipe over this again to remove any excess, but I want some to still be here to continue to sink into the wood, but it really, really enriches the grain of the wood so beautifully. But anyway, what I was going to say is you can buff this, say after you get about 3 coats on there, you can buff it to get a nice waxed looking sheen to it if you want to. I want mine to be a little more matte, so I probably won't do that. I am personally, just because it's in my head this way, kind of staying with the grain as I wipe this off, but that's not 100% necessary. One other thing I did when I was applying it was everywhere there was a knot, like a pine knot or a little figured area or whatever, I made sure to put extra in there so that it would seep down in that hole to moisturize it as well, because this is part of what we're doing, is protecting this wood by moisturizing it. That's a good word for it. Moisturizing it with the hemp oil.